Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me. So this is the week of March 6th through 12th, and if you didn't watch my last plan with me where we went to Disneyland, on the Sunday of that week my husband tested positive for COVID and I had all the same symptoms, but I was testing negative, but we just figured I probably had COVID too if I was sick at exactly the same time. So that's what this week's going to be all about. I picked up this mini kit from Scribble Prints Co. called Under the Weather. I replaced this in my lineup. So if you watched my March lineup, I don't even remember what kit I was using this week. Oh, I think Book Cafe. So I'm going to use the Book Cafe art probably sometime in April, because this was the COVID sick week. So I'm like, you know what? Let's use a sick week kit since I know it exists. So yeah, like I said, this is Under the Weather by SPC, and I just got the mini kit version because we're not sick very often. I mean, we don't have kids and neither of us work with kids. I do work at a university and my students are sick a lot. But the good thing about college is that they generally stay home when they're sick because it's not the daycare, basically, you know what I mean? So I don't come into contact with sick people that often, but at some point the week prior, one of us must have because, yeah, we got COVID. So my experience with COVID was more that it was just like a really prolonged cold. Obviously, I am not discounting the fact that there are plenty of people who got very, very, very sick from COVID. So don't take me being like, oh, for me, it was just a really bad cold as me dismissing other people's experiences because it hits everybody different. My husband and I are both fully vaccinated. We got the latest booster last year because we had just way too many Omicron scares last year and somehow didn't get sick all the times we were exposed last year, even before we got our booster. And then we got our boosters towards the end of the year. And we had a wedding in January. We went on our honeymoon in January. We didn't get COVID then. And then sometime around early March, late February, I guess it was going around again, and it finally caught up with us. So we're fully vaccinated. We're still glad that we're fully vaccinated and boosted up. But yeah, my experience was like a prolonged cold. My husband did get prescribed antivirals. He has some underlying conditions that I'm not going to get into because you don't need to know that. But yeah, he does have multiple conditions that qualified him for getting antiviral medication. So he was really sick before, like more sick than I was, before he started taking those. And then he started taking them and he felt a lot better. And then he had once he ended those, because you only take them for a few days really, once he ended that medication, like he kind of had a bit of a relapse and didn't feel great again, and then he got better. So yeah, I think it was on Sunday, the night that he tested or the day that he tested positive and was starting to really feel ill. I told him as we're going to bed, I'm like, if you feel short of breath, if you feel like you're really feverish, like just wake me up and we'll go to the hospital. So luckily, neither of us had to go to the hospital, so that's good. He got medication. I didn't get medication because I don't have those underlying conditions, and also I didn't even test positive until the Saturday of the week that you're seeing here, so that was weird. So they wouldn't have prescribed me anything anyway because I wasn't even testing positive. So yeah, everything worked out. We were only really sick for like a week and a half. So that was really good. But, we've obviously been avoiding this for a really long time. This was our first time with COVID, if I didn't mention that. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good track record right there, considering I have been working in person since August of 2021. So like a year and a half of working fully in person, sometimes with masks, sometimes not with masks like this last school year. And this is our first time actually getting COVID. Oh, I messed up the double scene there. I was like, that is not where that box is supposed to go. It's supposed to be part of a scene. So yeah, we were really lucky, but also it wasn't luck. It was us making pretty conscious choices that we didn't get COVID until now. But yeah, my main symptoms I had several days of a sore throat. I think I had a sore throat for like 4 days, which got really irritating after a while. Normally when I get a cold, I don't know how it is for other people. I don't usually ask this, but like when I get a cold, I have a sore throat for like 1 day, and then we proceed into the coughing, sneezing, hacking part of the cold, which is not cute, but like sore throats suck, I remember as a kid, I would always get sore throats, and then my mom would be like, okay, my mom's a nurse, so she would know kind of what strep looks like-ish. And she's like, no, I don't think it's strep. Like, I've never had strep throat either, knock on wood. Don't want that either. But yeah, it was just a really persistent sore throat and runny nose and congestion. And then my other main symptom was just I was exhausted all week. Like, I was so tired. So I did take this week off work. I did a little bit of grading, but I did not teach my classes. Because also I couldn't go to campus, and I could have taught online, but like I didn't have a voice. Like at one point I was losing my voice, so I couldn't teach anyway. So I just took the week off of classes. Luckily, even as part-time faculty, I have sick time. That's not always typical of every part-time faculty job, which is kind of ridiculous. But luckily my university gives even part-timers sick leave, so I could take that. What else? This was definitely not the sickest I've ever been. I had like what was probably a sinus infection like 5 or 6 years ago, and that was horrible. I was sick for like 2 weeks, and it was terrible. And then probably the sickest I've ever been was back in 2009 when H1N1 flu, or what was more commonly known as the swine flu, came around. I was sick for probably a month, and I barely ate because I was so congested, and I had a bunch of like stuff caught in my chest, and I couldn't sleep. Like, I didn't sleep for a month. I barely ate anything for a month. Like, it was not a good time. Luckily, I was a senior in high school back then, and I was homeschooled, and I only had 3 classes that year because I was just ready to be done with high school. So it didn't affect my academic career that much. Like, if I got sick for a month now, like that would be a big problem. So this paled in comparison to some of the past illnesses that I've got, but I'm pretty sure that was because I was able to get vaccinated for this one. Couldn't get vaccinated for H1N1 back then. It's funny how that was a big thing, and then like it just kind of left. Weird. Okay, now that I've just rambled on about being sick, it is April 26th now, and I have been like monitoring myself over the last, since we got sick, like for long COVID symptoms. There was a little bit of a period of time where I'm like, I'm really fatigued. Like, I really hope this isn't long COVID, like rearing its head. But we're really lucky. And like, once we got over the acute symptoms, like we were fine. And we also didn't lose our taste or smell, which was so much of a relief. I know it sounds trivial, but like I mentioned with swine flu, like I had no appetite for a really long time. So it was definitely a relief. Like, honestly, COVID was like a very hungry caterpillar of a virus inside of me. Like, I was so hungry this week, which was good. That's a good symptom for me to have personally. So I was eating a lot, which was nice because I was sick and definitely needed it. All right, let's get into the day by day. So Monday, I was still testing negative. So I put in a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., the vaccination sticker, and then I used a piece of deco from the kit, the tissue box, to mark that my symptoms were still a sore throat and a runny nose, the same as the day before. Then I finally showered. Yeah, I marked that. By this day, I couldn't remember the last time I had showered, which is nasty, I know. So I finally did that. Yeah, sickness, yay. And then I had a phone call with the campus contact tracer because I had filed a form the day before with my campus to report that I had symptoms but was testing negative, but I lived with someone who tested positive, so she was giving me some guidance on that. And then this was the night that my husband started his medication, so he had called the doctor the day before because you have to get authorization, and they authorized it, and I think they mailed the medication either to us or to my husband's parents for some reason, and then they dropped it off. So he started it that night, so I just used the pill bottle deco from the kit. I kind of exhausted all of my sick day stickers in my collection, so I used a lot of deco from the kit to be icons, which worked perfectly fine. And then Monday night, we all laid in bed together, me, my husband, and the cat. So I used a sick day Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. because it's in the bed. And I was watching John Oliver videos. John Oliver got me through COVID. I was watching all of his like last week tonight clips on YouTube. So I have a laptop icon from Plan a Hannah. Tuesday, I was still testing negative, and this was the last time I tested myself within like the first 5 days, because after a while I was like, I'm not going to keep like wasting tests, especially because I'm not going anywhere anyway. So I was still testing negative this day. That didn't stay the same. Just wait for the end of the plan with me. And then I used a thermometer piece of deco to mark that I still had a sore throat and my congestion was getting heavier. I never had a fever, which was really good. And I don't think my husband, he was feeling feverish, but he never had like a legitimate, like an actual fever that was measurable. So that was good because he does get really feverish when he gets sick, even with like a cold. So yeah, I'm glad he didn't have a fever because that would have made it a little scarier. And then I marked with this sick day girl from Fox and Cactus that I took a sick day from work. I teach only on Tuesdays and Thursdays this semester, so I only had to use Tuesday and Thursday as official sick days. I did work a little bit on Wednesday and I think on Friday just to grade some things. And then I worked like a little bit on Monday just to communicate to my students what was going on. But other than that, like I tried to just like rest and get better. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take this time off because I will hopefully get better sooner if I actually rest. So that's what my focus was this week. Again, I did a little bit of grading, but like I think I graded like 10 essays the whole week, which is not a lot. So I kind of took it easy. At the end of the day, I did play with the cat a little bit. I must have had a little bit of energy. So I have this Molly chasing a mouse from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and a Play with Evie custom script from Carly Plans. I pulled stickers for my honeymoon plan with me. So I have this sticker from Sweet Apis Paper with some like a little corgi holding a bunch of sticker sheets. And then we got a save the date for my husband's cousin's wedding. So I have a sticker from Cinderella Paper to mark that. I just wanted to mark like one good thing that happened this week. Normally I don't really mark if people send me save the dates, but like there was nothing else great going on this week, so I wanted to mark that. Plus, they're getting married finally after like being engaged for several years because they've had a lot of life stuff come up, and I'm pretty sure COVID got in the way too. So it's exciting that they're finally going to get married and that we're invited to be a part of that. That's kind of cool. They were at our wedding and they were very nice and seemed to have a good time. So that will be nice to celebrate them next. Then at the end of the night, I just marked that I lied in bed and watched YouTube with another laptop icon from Plana Hannah. Wednesday, I marked with another sick day Molly that I had less of a sore throat, but I was still very congested. I did a little bit of grading because I could do that from bed. I typically do not recommend working from bed, but sometimes you're like, I need to recline. But I need to get work done. So I graded like 5 essays this day just to do something because I was getting pretty bored, not gonna lie. And like I was tired, but I was bored. And so I was getting cranky. So I'm like, I need to do a little bit of work just to like not be so anxious about missing work. So I have a Once More with Love grading munchkin for that. And then I started filming the honeymoon plan with me. So I marked that with a planner sticker from Carly Plans. I think I didn't end up actually publishing that plan with me for several more weeks just because like I said, I could barely talk because my sore throat and all of the, my voice being hoarse and stuff. So I couldn't do voiceovers. I don't, no offense if you've done this, but like when people upload videos, if they're sick, like it's really hard for me to listen to them talk, and so I didn't want to subject people to that. My voice is already kind of like vocal fry-ish as it is. I don't know why that is, but it is. So I try to do voiceovers when my voice actually sounds nice, hopefully. Or you might find my voice totally annoying. That's fine too. Anyway, then I marked with a movie marquee from the kit. I will say with Scribble Prints Co mini kits, I don't understand the logic with what she includes in a mini kit. There's so many full boxes when I need more functional stuff. And then there's like 2 movie marquees. And I'm like, it's a mini kit. I don't know why I need 2 movie marquees. You know what I mean? But I used the movie marquee to mark that we watched The Mandalorian and then a bunch of different YouTube videos. So Mythical Kitchen, Tasting History, and The Try Guys. And we must have actually spent time out in the living room instead of in bed this day. So that's why I used the movie marquee. And then the cat was being super silly, and we have this fuzzy blanket that I think she thinks is her mother. I don't know. So she needs it a lot, but I had it like over my stomach this evening, and she was kneading my belly like through the blanket. It was really funny. So I put in a Laughing Munchkin from Once More with Love. And then I marked that I couldn't sleep. My sleep schedule got totally thrown off because I was sleeping in like a ton to try and like purge the COVID from my body. And so then I'd stay up really late, which was unfortunate. So anyway, I have a Molly like sleepless sticker for that. Moving on to Thursday, my husband did go back to work. He didn't go back to work, but he can work remotely. So he started work back up this day. So I have a fox and cactus guy for that. And then I stayed in bed all day. So I took another sick day from work this day. And then I used a wonton and a million sticker to mark that I was just in bed all day. Like, I was super fatigued this day. It's like I would get a little bit better and then I would get a little bit worse. And so this day I was just like, I just need to rest. I marked that it was really warm and sunny this day, which was weird because then the next day it poured rain. So I have another wonton and a million sticker for that. And then I did some reading just to like occupy my brain because at this point I was running out of stuff on the internet to consume while I was sick. So I finished a book called The Buddha in the Attic. It's by an author named Julie Otsuka. It's a pretty sad book. It's about Japanese internment and immigration and all of that. But I definitely recommend people read it. I think not enough people know about all of the things that the Japanese community has gone through in California and in other states too, but a lot of them were in California during World War II. So I think more people should know about that. So I recommend it. It's a really short read, but it is a little sad. It's very sad actually because communities were destroyed, but I think you should read about it. So do that. So I used a reading Molly from Idiot Sticker Co. for that. And then I was having some chest discomfort. This happens now when I get towards the end of a sickness, like my chest just gets really sore. And if it continued on, I would have gone to the doctor or called the doctor or something, but it was like just one day. And then that day after this, I started to feel a bit better. Friday it rained, so I have a rainy day Molly for that. My cat didn't hide from the rain though, so we're making a little bit of progress. She normally hides when it rains, but I guess we got so much rain this year that she's gotten over it just a little bit. My voice was really hoarse this day, so I just put in this like single teardrop munchkin from Once More with Love because it's just like, I'm fine, it's fine. Then I posted a new schedule for my students. So yeah, I did a little bit of work this day. So I have a Molly to-do list icon because it's like, we still have so much to do, even though I was sick for a week, or I still have so much to do. So that was fun. Oh, and then I had menstrual cramps. So yeah, it wasn't enough that I had a respiratory infection. Like, we just need to proceed with the period anyway. Sorry if that's TMI. I just think it's funny, question mark. It definitely got delayed by a few days because I was sick, and then my body was like, you're not that sick anymore. Here you go. I'm like, thanks. I appreciate that. So anyway, that cramps munchkin is from Once More with Love. And then I graded 5 more essays and watched more John Oliver. And that was the end of Friday. Saturday, I marked that if I tested negative, my isolation could end with a alarm clock from Wonton and a Million. What happened instead, so I tested myself because it had been, 5 or 6 days, something like that. I was using the California Department of Public Health calendar, and they said to test myself this day. So anyway, I tested myself and I tested positive finally. It's like, I knew I had COVID the whole time, but now I have the actual proof. So I used a This Is Fine Molly to mark that because I was really over being sick at this point. When we first got sick, I was totally calm. We both were totally calm. We're like, this, we can deal with this. It had to happen. Eventually, not had to happen, but we figured it would happen eventually because we dodged it so many times. But anyway, I still had a runny nose and a cough this day, so I just used a crumpled up tissue piece of deco from the kit, and then I lied on the couch and was really grouchy all day because I'm like, dang it, now I know for sure I'm positive. I'm glad I tested positive, honestly, because then it's, for sure. But yeah, I was just really grouchy this day. And then I was anxious towards the end of the day, so I used an anxious script from Carly Plans and a grumpy cat sticker. And then I used a movie marquee from the kit to mark that we watched Try Guys and ProZD and Worth It, all on YouTube. And then I was awake till 3 a.m. because my sleep schedule was totally thrown off. So it really helped that the next day, daylight savings time started, and we sprang forward. This was not the week where I needed to lose an hour. It really wasn't. I was very congested this day, so I used the humidifier sticker from the kit. I don't think we currently have a humidifier, actually. That would have helped, but we didn't have one at this point. My husband had a travel one, and I think it broke or ran out of the wicks or something, and then we had a larger one that was left behind by the previous tenant, but we got rid of it. Oh well. I filmed my I didn't film my March monthly. I just put together my March monthly, which, looking at my planner, did not end up having a lot of stuff in it because we were sick for a good chunk of the month. And then here I'm trying to figure out how to use the rest of the stuff left in the kit for Sunday without like putting too much pink next to each other. I figured it out eventually. It took a little bit. So this day I was doing some post-wedding stuff. I was saving all of our video clips from our videographer from Google Drive because he sent me a Google Drive. And then I was also just looking through all of the wedding photos that we got because I don't think I'd looked through all of them yet, like every single one. So I did that. I'm going to mark that with a cake icon from a wedding sheet from Papershire. And then my husband was able to fix my bracelet that I was supposed to wear to our wedding, but it broke while my sister was putting it on me getting ready the morning of the wedding, so I didn't wear it. So he was able to fix that this day. So I'm going to use these rings sticker from Cinderella paper because I don't have a bracelet sticker. And then watched more John Oliver. All I had left from the kit at this point was that flag, so it's just going to have to look like that. And then I also could not sleep this night either. So we have another Molly lying in kind of like a puddle of sweat from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Now I think I'm going to put one of the extra full boxes in the sidebar. I had like a few full boxes left over. I tried to prioritize using the ones this week that were for sure about being sick. Like I love that teddy bear in the upper left-hand corner with the thermometer. So I tried to use all of those first, and then the ones that I saved, it was like a bathtub scene and like one or two other full boxes. Those could probably be used another time when I'm not sick. I hope I don't have another like whole week where I'm totally sick anytime soon, but you never know. So I'm going to save those boxes because they're kind of more like a relaxing at home spa day type feel. So I tried to use all of the sick day stuff in this spread because obviously this was the COVID sick week. So now I'm just putting all of the deco in. I put deco along the bottom because the bottom washi was plain with this kit and I didn't feel like using foil this week. I was not going to use foil this week. I'm like, this is not a special foil week, especially because I bought this kit like specifically for this week. It was a brand new kit. It wasn't leftovers, so we're not using foil. And then I also scattered deco across the top, the smaller pieces of deco that would fit with the date covers. So yeah, COVID will continue a little bit into the next week, but then I think like Tuesday or Wednesday, we started feeling a lot better and we were testing negative and all of that. So we could get back to normal at that point. Although I think my husband started to feel a little bit worse the next week after this one. We'll have to talk about that next week when we actually get to that plan with me. But yeah, he was feeling good with his medication, so he was able to work, I think, Thursday and Friday. So that was good. He has sick time too, but he was able to work from home. So whereas I can only work partially from home, I do have to go to the campus for real. So yeah, I had 4 full boxes left over that could be used for a not being sick week. And then I pulled in these date dots from an old Cinderella paper kit because I didn't feel like writing the dates in. Also, I just want to get these date dots. I have so many date dots because they always come in Cinderella Papers kits. So I want to get them out of my collection when I can. So we're going to use those on the date covers. If I had it to do over, I would have put down the date dots first before I did the deco, but I wasn't going to undo it at this stage. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. Let me know what's up, what's going on this week for you in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching and hearing me ramble about being ill. Everything turned out fine in the end, which I'm really glad for because we were definitely trying to avoid this situation the last 3 years. I'm just glad that it didn't happen until now because now, of course, we've got vaccines. We've also got much better medications available, or we have medications available in the first place. So I'm glad that we didn't get it until this point. Hopefully we don't get it again anytime soon. We're still like pretty cautious. So if you're still taking lots of precautions, I totally understand that because it's not fun to be sick for a few weeks. So Take care out there. I will talk to you next week. Bye.